I heard the ground shaking. I could even hear my neighbor's agriculture machines shaking. So we wondered, where is our neighbor going in such an hour? And the car alarms that were surrounding, they went on. And out of nowhere, I asked him, are those not waters? There was no other word. So in my mind, I thought he has gone to look so that he can come and start the car that we may flee. And even as we flee, in our place there has never been such waters. Nothing like that has ever happened, even when the rivers overflow. He left out in a haste because he was even barefooted. In fact, in a towel. We opened the door and he went on different directions. Just when I was outside, I looked up and I cannot fully describe what I saw. But I saw something like a curtain extending all the way past clouds. It looked as if it was roaring and falling from the sky, falling now on the ground. Something like cotton. I ran back and called my daughters and my sons. I told them, my daughters, my sons, come, the waters are here. Before I thought of reaching to where my sons were staying, in between, I saw trees falling. So what I did, because I could not get there, I called them by names. My sons, my sons. Since we were outside, I grabbed my son and I held on to my son. And I told my daughters, oh my daughters, we are perishing. I did not think of going back to the house, so I stayed outside with my son. I held him so tight and I said, wherever we are going to be taken, there we will go. And I told my daughters, close the door. And we did not speak again. Before I was knocked on my left leg, as I was holding dear to my son, I could see trees around us falling. I heard a voice say, there is no man who can rescue or deliver another man from my hand if I am the Lord God. That is when I was knocked on my left leg, as I was looking up and wondering, what is this thing that I'm seeing? Like a curtain extending all the way to the clouds. It is something big and I've been unable to flee. And my heart told me, you cannot be able to flee and leave your children here. So I said, whatever is going to happen, let it happen to me and to my children. When I opened my mouth to scream, I swallowed something very thick. I felt being carried away, immersed, being carried off. My hands were spread and I knew I was being taken away. And then in my soul I asked myself, oh Lord, is this how people perish? Yes, in my heart. And again, as I thought of screaming so that my sons can know something is going wrong, something is wrong, I lost all consciousness. When I lost all consciousness, I later found myself somewhere. I don't know where that place was. But as for me, I know I was dead. I think I was out of this body. After losing consciousness, I found myself being shown a body. Yes, I was shown a body by somebody whom I could not see, but I could hear his voice. We were in somehow an elevated place. And he asked me, do you know whose that body belongs to? I told him yes. I said, it is mine. I saw my body. It had no cloth. I could see other corpses and I would see people. I would see bodies were scattered all over. And this man told him, we are headed this way, to this road. We are turning this way. I could not see him, but I could hear his voice. So I led the way. And he said, I want to tell you this. When you go back to the world, tell them that I am a consuming fire and nobody jokes with me. I could feel in the spirit that I was receiving his words in a way that it is not a worldly. It was so deep. To an extent, I was saying, when I go back to the world, the first person I would narrate this to would be my husband, who is a reverend. We proceeded. I could hear his voice, but I could not see him. He then said, tell these people, whoever will serve me, let there be nothing between me and whoever is going to serve me. Let whoever is going to serve me because I am the God. I am the Lord. I am the Lord who causes things to happen. I am the Lord who makes somebody's life good. Therefore, whoever is going to serve me, let him serve me 100%. As he was telling me this, I would say yes. We would even go to a place where we would speak in another language. We would speak in tongues. I would get to a place where I would even tell him, Lord, speak. I am listening. Go tell them, I need souls. I need souls. And I need nothing else. I only need souls. We proceeded. Before she touched my head, she revealed to me a place like it was a wall. Because I remember, it was my bishop whom I explained to how I saw my land was full of logs, full of huge boulders. I told him, the Lord showed me how things look there. When the Lord revealed unto me, he asked me, do you know whose that place belongs to? But I told him, I don't know, Lord. I could not recognize the place because it was full of rocks, big rocks. Then the Lord reversed the whole landscape to how my place was. And that is when I was able to recognize that that was my home. Like how I was doing farming. Even the buildings sprouted back. After telling the Lord that I recognize that place, he said, it is I, the Lord, who has done that. Then it all went back into a land full of rocks and boulders. That now later was when he touched or he held my hairs tightly. I had plaited my hair, but I'm not going to mention the one who has manufactured that hair. I'm actually not used to plaiting hairs. I actually buy Marvins and wear Marvins because every time I plait my hair, I feel a lot of discomfort until the time when I shall remove the hairs. So the Lord held my hairs in a very tight manner and demanded to know, what are these hairs doing on your head? Before I could answer, he told me, these are not for my kingdom, and they always remove my glory when somebody stands before my presence. Because when I created a human being, I saw he was good. He was 100% good. So I gave him a promise that when I will go back to the world, the very first thing I would do will be to remove these hairs. After I promised him that, I told him, I plead with you, do not leave me in this place. He said, and that is why I am here, to deliver you, because you are my remnant. I was trapped And that's when I saw my bishop coming with some scissors. I was crying and telling him, please come and please come and help me. And he said, I'm coming to cut loose anything that has ensnared you. When he came and touched me, I came back to this world. That is when I recognized I'm still trapped. I could see the moon. I could see the trees surrounding me. I thought I was in bed. So I started looking for a blanket. But all I could touch was stones and debris. I came back to my senses and I remembered I was carried off by something I didn't know what it was. I was trapped in between the rocks to an extent that I was buried almost to my neck, and also my hairs were trapped. I could not move. I could only look up. So what I did, I started praying. So those who rescued me from that place, they said I was praying. When I started praying, I remember I saw a torch or a spotlight. Because of fear, I kept silent. I thought now, the Lord now is coming for me. So I said I would be silent until this torch passes. So I heard a man say, here is a child and a woman. When they freed me, I touched my hairs and I told them, remove these hairs. Let me go and preach. It did not matter whether I was without clothes or not. I just told them, remove these hairs. Let me go and preach. I removed the hairs. I went silent and I was peaceful. That's when later I found myself in a hospital.